welcome to the stage, Grace Griego, Gregorio. Please welcome to the stage, Grace.
So first I want to address this, which is, this stage is very small, so I don't actually need like a microphone, but I feel the need to hold something. So I got this Baby Shark microphone. Yeah! It does, yeah. And then it does this. So it sounds horrible. So I won't be using that function of it tonight. So I'm going to turn that off. Okay, so there's another setting, and I'm going to turn it off. And just a trigger warning, it's going to do something really unpleasant, and I don't like it. So we're going to wait. I hate that, and I don't like it, so we're not going to address it, and we're moving on. So, to address the opening voice, that was actually based on something that happened earlier in the summer when I was doing stand-up in New York for a little gig. That makes it sound very professional. I paid $5 to go on stage. But they were putting everyone's full names up when they were announced, like calling people up, and they were like, Joe Gregorio on the stage. And they were saying everyone's full names, and they got to mine. They were like, Grace, come on up. And I was like, oh, hey. So it's actually pronounced Griego, like San Diego, or like Go Diego Go, which I love him so much. So that slaps. But anyways, those of you who don't know Go Diego Go, he's the cousin of Dora the Explorer. He has his own little spin-off show where he talks to like jaguars and monkeys and shit and helps them out in that way. And he's a young Mexican boy, and because of the fact that I'm also Mexican and I had a bowl cut when I was a child, and my last name is Griego, I got compared to Dora and Diego a lot growing up. And I don't really see it, but you can be the judge. I think it is just the hair. Also, I got this. Oh, wait. Ooh. It has different settings. I'm not going to use them, but I just want to show you. There's a butterfly, and a smiley face, and a star, and a rat. A rat. Use the rat! I'll do the pointer for now. Anyways, I think it is just the hair. And that's just because in kindergarten, my hair used to go down to my, like, below my waist, so when I sat down, I would, like, sit on it. And then I got introduced to scissors in kindergarten. So when the teacher wasn't looking, I just went to town. Crazy. And then I went home to my mom, and I was like, hey. And she was like, oh! We're gonna fix that. And by fixing that, she made me look like Dora. And I think that's okay, and I think that's beautiful. But I think what's unfair is that I look like that, but my brother, when he was little, looked like this. That's just a quirked up little white boy. He's just a little white boy. And so while I got compared to Dora and Diego, he got compared to like Calvin. And that was it. And I find that frankly upsetting. Bitch ass. I love my brother. Here's to him. He's not dead. He's in Portland. He'll see that. But back to Dora. I don't see, well, we're gonna see. I think we are wearing the same pink shirt, and that's very evident. She's showing a little bit of belly. I'm not, and my mom would not like it if I did. I think our socks are a little too close for comfort. And our shoes, actually. But I learned something recently that was absolutely fucking devastating, which is that Dora is 5'2". And I'm 5'0". I am in fact shorter than Dora. And I think about that a lot. But I think it's okay. What I really wanted to be, though, was Diego, because I love him so much, and I love what he does. Exactly. And as a child, since I was a little baby watching this show, and I saw him talking to, like, jaguars and stuff, I thought, I could probably talk to exotic animals, too, if I tried, like, really hard. And so I grew up in California in a very, like, deserty place, so we got rattlesnakes a lot. And so one day, me and my brother were playing outside, and this is who I truly am. This is who I am at my core. So, POV, you're about to pet a rattlesnake. Hey guys, I'm Go Griego Go, and today we're going to be looking at a baby rattlesnake, which is way more dangerous than a regular rattlesnake because if it bites you, it can't control the venom in its fangs. So if it does bite you, you're a goner. And dead in Spanish is muerto. Can you say muerto? Great. Okay, so let's check it out. You guys see where the rattlesnake is? Yeah. Where? Oh, okay. This looks great. Do you want me to pet you and pick you up? That looks like a yes to me. Let's go ahead, let's see this bad boy and pick him up. He seems very friendly. I like the look in his eyes is very, good. I'm gonna go, oh! So that was a bad idea, and before I could do it, my brother did slap my hand away and rush me inside. So that was good, and my mom doesn't like Go Diego Go because I did try to do that. A rattlesnake, and she didn't really like that. And she also didn't like that kids would kind of like make fun of me because of my last name. So whenever I would like pick up the pace a little bit as a kid, people would be like, "Go Griego, go!" Griego. But I ate it up. I loved it. I thought kids were like cheering me on in like PE when I would run. They'd be like, "Go Griego, go!" And I'd be like, "Okay." Faster. And it wasn't until very recently that I was thinking of the implications of it, and I was like, "Were these kids being racist to me?" Yeah. Yeah, they were. And I was going to say okay. But something that my mom did love about Go Diego Go was how much Spanish I was learning, because I took 4 years of Spanish in high school, and I didn't really retain any of it, as evidenced by my recent trip to Spain, which some of you have already heard about. So here we go again. Over fall break, I went to go visit my friends Alex, Noah, and Claire, who were all like teaching English in Spain. And it was super fun, and I went, and I was so excited to like practice my Spanish. And I took a solo trip. My hubris, that's all I have to say. And I was like, it'll be great, it'll be fun. I'm alone, and I did it, and then I was making my way home, and I was like, oh, I don't know where I am. I'm very much lost. I'm horrifically lost. I have no idea where I am. So I lift up my phone to text my friend and be like, help, I don't know where I am. And then as I do so, it dies. It dies in my hand. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. We're just gonna hop on different trains at random to see if maybe I'll find some place that seems familiar. Obviously that didn't work. So then I was like, okay, I just have to talk to people. I'm gonna just go up to someone and say that like my phone is dead. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, what is the word for dead in Spanish? It starts with an M. And like, can you say muerto? Apparently not. Because I said miedo. Fear or scared in Spanish. So I was going around, I was like, oh, mi teléfono es miedo? Oh. And people were like, ¿qué? And I was like, oh God, I'm really messing this up. I just got to explain that the reason why my Spanish is so bad is because I only took 4 years of it in high school. But I can only remember the first part of that sentence, so I said, tengo 4 años. Which means I'm 4. So I was going around to people and I was like, my phone is scary and I'm 4. My phone is so scary. Because they all thought I was crazy because I was sobbing while doing this. Not my problem. And so then eventually I found a police officer and I was like, okay, let's try this, maybe this will work. And I was like, hablas inglés? And he was like, no. And I was like, that's fine, totally valid. Maybe I'll just say the address of the place I'm trying to get to, and maybe he'll be like, oh, it's right around this corner, try and tell me anything. But instead, I said the address, and he looked at me, and he went, bah! And I just walked away. And I was like, okay, thanks, sir. All right. So then I knew I just had to look for landmarks, and Alex had told me about landmarks, and one of them was Tío Pepe, which is a giant Coca-Cola bottle man, just on a giant billboard in the center of Seoul. Not South Korea, Seoul, Spain. And I found him, and I was like, okay, I know kind of where I am, and I just need one more landmark. And Alex had told me earlier, when we were passing their apartment, that someone had spray painted a pair of boobs before their apartment. And I was like, tits! I just need to find this pair of tits and I'll be home! And so I was running around searching for these pairs, okay, there was one pair of boobs. And then I found it, and I found the boobs, and I found my way home. And then my friends tried to explain to me how bad my Spanish was. And even though logically I know, they know Spanish way better than I do. But whenever white people try to correct my Spanish, there's a part of me that's like, oh, okay. All right, let's settle down. I'm Mexican. Well, part Mexican, and I don't speak Spanish. In fact, I don't. And I wrote a little song about that was composed by Alex Kingsley that I'm going to do right now. So my last name is Griego. Yeah! And that's a Spanish last name. It translates to Greek. That's not really relevant right now. But because of this, we always got advertisements in Spanish. ¿Necesitas una nueva antena parabólica? Yes, I'm Hispanic. Sí. But do I speak Spanish? No. And on the phone, I would panic and be like, oh, my mom's not really home right now. Even though she totally was. She was just watching Dr. Phil. But I am Hispanic and I don't speak Spanish. Yeah. I tried to learn it in high school, but it didn't work. Now all I remember is this one sentence that was like, una ambulancia. I am Hispanic, but I don't speak Spanish. Yeah. But if a white person ever came up to me and was like, did you know it's llamo, not llama? I would be like, shut up! They're lucky! And I know it isn't right, and I know it isn't fair. They know Spanish way better than I do. But I am Hispanic, but I don't speak Spanish. Yeah. Maybe I should have used Duolingo more often. Probably. That I don't really know how I identify. I say that I'm half white, quarter Japanese, quarter Mexican, and usually I just end up saying that I'm mixed. But as a present, last year my mom gave me a little 23andMe DNA kit thing that gave me the exact makeup of my genes. And so there's a little something on this board about that gave me the exact breakdown and a little map. So technically speaking, and hang on with me here, we got 33% Japanese, 27% Finnish, Central and Southern Finland specifically, 13% Norwegian, 7% Native American, North, Central, South specifically, England 6%, French 5%, 3% Swedish, 2% Irish and Scottish, 1% Portuguese, 1% Native American, Andean, 1% European Jewish, and 1% Spanish. Yeah, and so that's all of it. And I actually did know about the Finnish aspect of my identity because my mom took me to the Fin Fest when I was 6 years old. I went to the 2006 Fin Fest in Astoria, Oregon. And for those who don't know, the Fin Fest is it's a little festival for Finnish people to celebrate their heritage and culture, and it was really weird. Because I went there and I was surrounded by blonde, blue-eyed white people, and they had little activities like lingonberry picking, and they sold Finnish crime novels. Like The Dark Side of Helsinki, Jarkko Siplia, and The Cold Trial, also by Jarkko Siplia, and The Traveling Songbok by Juko Siplia. They were all different people, just very similar names. And then they also sold blonde wigs. And these Finnish crime novels had these pictures of beautiful blonde women on them that all looked like my mom, and I love my mom so much. And so I wanted to look like her. And so I went to the blonde wigs and I was like, oh my God. And I put one on and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, me and Barbie. Me and Barbie are twins, this is crazy. We look exactly the same. And then I turned around to my brother and I was like, can you believe this? And he was like, you look ugly. And I was like, all right. So maybe Finnish isn't how I identify. But lesson learned. But I've always been like yearning for a label that I could just fit into more easily, of just like, so then I could have a community and like have people who know exactly what it's like to like live in the world in the same way that I do. So I decided Finnish, probably not it, but maybe I could be a cowboy, like everyone else in my hometown, because I'm from Bishop, California, which is a tiny town. Yeah, tiny little town near Nevada, and it is so small, and tiny. And we're very much known for Mule Days, which is, I thought this was a universal thing. I thought every May everyone got together, put on their cowboy boots, and got ready for Mule Days. But I now realize it's not a universal thing, that's just Bishop. So to explain what Mule Days is, it is a week-long celebration of mules and horses and ponies and miniature ponies and just anything of that kind of breed. They're there and they're on our streets because we clear out the main street for the big Mule Days parade, and we dress up mules like popular cartoon characters like Shrek. And there are clowns for some reason, and you can get a personalized saddle and spurs and stuff. And yeah, and so that's Bishop. It's very yeehaw. It's, when I say I'm from California, it's not the California that you're imagining of like beaches, 5 hours away at least. The nearest airport, also 5 hours away. Celebrities. We had Adam Sandler come to our McDonald's like one time. That was a big thing. And no one took pictures. It was just like Jeremy in the drive-thru was like, guess who came in? And we were all like, oh my God, that's crazy. But back to Mule Days. A really important part of Mule Days is the big rodeo that we have. And people will fly in for this. And we have all these horse-related activities like lassoing and bull riding and the calf roping event, which is my least favorite event. I hate it so much. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's just a little cowboy comes out and with a little baby cow, and then he flips it on its back and ties all of its legs together like as fast as possible. And yeah, and as a child, it always looked so painful, and I was like, oh, I don't like this. So when I was 7 and I went with like a group of friends, we were like, we have to stop this. We have to put an end to this. We're going to be activists. And so we sure did try, but we were 7. So it was just 3 of us in a little circle doing a little march. And we each said something different where we were like, let the calves be free, and say no to rope. But it was all at the same time, so it sounded like nothing. It was just girls being like, rope! No! But we thought we were helping. And another really big aspect of Mule Days is the big country concert at the end of the whole shebang. And I hate country music. I'm so sorry if you do, if you love it. But I don't. And so we always get what I assume are very popular country artists coming in, but I have no idea who they are. And I think they're fake. I think they're not real because they have names that don't sound real. Like this year we booked Susie Bogus. Susie Bogus is coming to Bishop this May. And here's a clip of her actually.
Cowboy Sweetheart, here's Susie Bogus to sing it for you.
Bogus. So that's Susie Bogus. She's like pretty good actually, I won't lie. But even though I hate the country music, I love the cowboy aesthetic. I love it so much. I love the idea of it's just you and the open dirt roads. I like the bar fights. I like the inherent homoeroticism. Yeah. And I actually did have horses growing up. I had a really old horse named Rooster, and he looked to be 32 years old. He was so old and so withered that we couldn't ride him because he was unstable. So I would just kind of feed him carrots, and then that was it. But one day I took him out to brush him, and I was getting ready to brush his little fur, and then unbeknownst to me, he stepped on an anthill, and the ants crawled up, and they bit him on the dick. He rushed off like a shot, and I lost the reins, and he was gone. And then he ran into my backyard, and he stepped on my skateboard, and he skateboarded. For a solid minute, he was going, and then the skateboard cracked. And then he stopped, and he was fine. So maybe I wasn't a cowboy. I wasn't finished. I wasn't a cowboy. What was I? Well, I felt very validated in my Japanese American identity in high school for a very weird reason, which was I befriended a girl named Naomi who was a weeb. For any of you who don't know what weebs are, it's basically just like a non-Japanese person, usually white, who really wants to be Japanese and is way into anime too much. So she was super into and I wanted her to like me, so I was like, did you know that I'm Japanese? I'm part Japanese? And she was like, what did you say? I was like, yeah, my middle name is actually Japanese. And she was like, what is it? And I was like, it's Kameo. It means turtle daughter. It means I'm supposed to live a long life like a turtle. And she was like, Kameo? Say it again. And I was like, okay. And then I told her that my grandma called me Kami-chan because, yeah, she's Japanese and it's a little term of endearment and it's very sweet. And then she was like, you should give me one of those. You should give me a Japanese name. And I was like, sure, that sounds great. And I'm not I wasn't that connected to my Japanese identity at the time, so I was like, what the fuck what am I gonna call her? So I was like, I'm just gonna call her the protagonist of an anime that I did watch, which is Kami-sama Kiss. So I called her Nanami-chan, and she ate that shit up. She was like, yeah, I'm Nanami-chan. And I was like, okay, this is weird, but I feel validated. It's a very strange relationship. And then, when I got to college, I participated in taiko, which is Japanese drumming. And now I have a very special video to show you that is recent to my mind. It's the video from the Cherry Blossom Festival that we did in Philly a couple of weeks back. And the way that Joe Small, the teacher, filmed it, you can't see that I'm hitting a drum. It's like I'm hitting a huge, giant Odaiko drum, and it's really big and powerful and perfect, and you can't see that at all. So in this clip, there's a little guy at the front named Kieran, and he runs off. Yeah, there he is. So he's gonna run off, and it looks like I'm chasing him with a mat. bit about Tycho and continuing on. I'm not really sure to this day like how I identify, but I think I'm becoming a lot more comfortable with that. And it reminds me of when I was little. I don't look like my mom, blonde, beautiful white lady, and her name is Karen. Hey. She hates that, but she loves her name. She doesn't like the connotation of Karen of what it's become. Anyways, I love my mom, and when I was little, we would go to grocery stores and stuff, and people would see us together, and they'd be like, "Is she adopted?" And I would hear this, and I would be like, because of my overactive imagination paired with that, I was like, "Oh, I am adopted." But not in the way you think. I thought I was a mermaid. I was like, okay, so logically, yeah, I'm like, my real parents are in the sea somewhere, and I'm just on land for a bit, and that's okay. And then one day, my parents took me to the beach, to a beautiful ocean, and I was like, oh, I can't leave my parents. I can't leave my land parents. I love them so much. So I'm gonna have to break the news to my mer parents. I'm gonna have to let them know that I'm gonna be staying here for a while. So I went out to the sand, and I wrote in the message I'm happy, I'm safe, I'm gonna stay on land. And then as I watched the waves kind of crash over them, pull the message out to sea, I thought, that ought to reach them. Yeah, and that was my show. Thank you so much.